By the time the kettle screamed on the stove, Mara Ellison already had her blazer on and her phone pressed to her ear, negotiating shipment delays with someone 3 time zones away. She was known at her logistics firm in Port Winslow, Oregon, as unshakable, the kind of woman who carried deadlines the way others carried purses. At home, her husband Caleb was known for something else entirely: patience. After their daughter Nora was born, Caleb left his job and became a stay-at-home dad, and for a while, the balance felt almost perfect. When Caleb's sister Renee divorced and moved into a small duplex 3 blocks away with her 8-year-old daughter May, the arrangement seemed like a gift. Caleb offered to watch May after school while Renee picked up extra shifts at the clinic. 2 girls, 1 quiet house, and a father who swore he loved the routine. It felt safe, convenient, normal. Then Nora began to change. At first it was small. Tears at the door when Mara left for work, fingers digging into her coat sleeve, panic blooming too quickly for a 6-year-old who used to wave from the porch. Nora complained of stomach aches on school mornings and woke screaming at night. Mara suggested the counselor at Pine Ridge Elementary, blamed reading tests, blamed growth spurts. Caleb smiled gently and said, "Kids go through phases." He showed Mara photos on his phone, Nora and May drawing together, laughing on the living room rug. Proof, he said, that everything was fine. Mara wanted to believe him. The call about the business trip came on a Tuesday. 3 days in Boise, urgent meetings, non-negotiable. Nora sobbed when Mara packed. Caleb promised ice cream nights and movie marathons. When Mara kissed Nora goodbye, her daughter whispered, "Please don't go." It lodged in Mara's chest like a stone. 2 hours after Mara's flight took off, Caleb made plans of his own. He told Renee that May had been invited on a short getaway to Clearwater Lake, saying Nora would join them the next morning once Mara arranged an earlier return. Renee hesitated but agreed, grateful for the help. What she didn't know, what no one knew, was that Caleb had already decided Nora would not be going anywhere. He waited until dusk, then coaxed Nora into the backyard under the excuse of finding the cat. The storage shed at the back of the lot was old, its lock stiff with rust. He left her there with a blanket and a bottle of water, telling her it was a game, that he'd be back soon. Then he drove away with May. By chance, or something closer to instinct, Mara's trip unraveled. A contract dispute ended the meetings early, and she caught a red-eye home. When she walked into the house just before dawn, the silence felt wrong, too hollow. She found the shed by following the sound of faint knocking. Nora was dehydrated, shaking, and barely speaking when Mara broke the lock. At the hospital, the timeline spilled out in fragments, then in a rush, neglect, fear, the way Caleb always made excuses to keep Nora out of the room. The way he hovered too close to May, taking photos that made May uncomfortable, saying things that twisted kindness into control. May confirmed it all through tears when asked later, her relief visible once the truth was spoken. Mara didn't wait. She filed for divorce that morning, secured an emergency protective order, and moved Nora out of the house. Renee and May cut contact entirely. When Caleb showed up at Mara's temporary apartment days later, shouting and pleading, police restrained him on the front lawn while neighbors watched from behind curtains. Months passed. Therapy sessions filled calendars. Nightmares softened into memories. Mara rented a small house near the coast, where Renee and May eventually joined them. The girls painted their bedroom walls yellow and learned how to sleep without fear. On quiet evenings with the ocean humming beyond the windows, Mara watched Nora and May build puzzles at the kitchen table. The future wasn't perfect, but it was honest, and for the first time in a long while it felt safe.